Honorio Ventura State University in Bacolor, Pampanga. Our third game for today features Northport Batang Pier taking on the NLEX Road Warriors. And now let's meet the starters. First, for Northport Batang Pier. A 6-foot guard from Ormoc City, Leyte, number 8, Robert Poli. A 6'1 guard from Iloilo City, number 0, Paulo Taha. A 6'8 center from Pangasinan, number 21, Troy Wright. A 6'4 forward from Imus Cavite, number 7, Sydney Onbubere. And a 6'5 forward from San Simon, Pampanga, number 3, Jaime Malonzo. Head coach for Northport, or interim head coach for Northport, is Bonnie Tan. And now the starters for the NLEX Road Warriors. A 5'10 guard from Cagayan de Oro City, number 9, Philip Panya Mogan. A 6'1 guard from Iloilo City, number 39, Jericho Cruz. A 6'2 forward from Baguio City, number 17, Ken Ighalo. A 6'6 forward from Bago City, Negros Occidental, number 4, Raul Soyud. And a 6'6 center from Santa Ana, Pampanga, number 2, Michael Miranda. Head coach for NLEX is Yang Yao. Our referees for today, Sherman Pineda, Mike Fortaleza.
Here are the soldiers on the front line for Northport and NLEX. Bolik and Taha comprising the backcourt. They'll be matched up against Panyamogan and Cruz. Wright and Miranda down in the middle. In the forwards, Onmobere and Malonzo. On the Northport side, Ighalo and Soyud for NLEX. Here we go. Ball is up, game is on. Tip-off brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Thank you for joining us here on PBA Rush. Shot Sulit together with Coach Eric Reyes, bringing you the action happening over in Bacolor, Pampanga. And it had been a couple of weeks already. This is the third week we're wrapping up the PBA playing over in Bacolor. I want to ask, Coach, at what point of time do you feel that the challenges will come? Maybe some homesickness for these players over there in a semi-bubble setup in Pampanga?
Well, as the season progresses, especially if you get into the next round, that's something that will be, emotionally take its toll on the players and the coaching staff. But then, they've been in this situation already last year. It's very tough for everyone emotionally and to be away from family. To at least get to sleep in your own bed that, that you have more comfort in. So those are the factors that these players have to go through. It's not going to be easy all throughout. But then when you sacrifice, you just hopefully get rewarded in the end when you win a championship.
Absolutely, and when these players and teams, coaches as well, committed to entering that setup in Bacolor, I am sure they would have they had in mind already that what they wanted to do was stay in there for as long as they had to, because that would mean that they're in the finals and they're playing up until the very last game of the tournament. And that's also what Northport and NLEX are trying to do here. Again, they're in the lower half of the team standings. And for Northport, they still have 5 games, including this one. This is one guy who has truly shown us what he's made of, especially in that last game. Yesterday, Northport just played yesterday, and Malonzo had a ball.
Well, he's just so athletic and he's very young. That's the reason why, this back-to-back games, he won't really feel it as much.
And also for Northport, their head coach, Pido Arencio, not there with them in the court at least, as he is serving some health and safety protocols, and stepping in for him is interim coach Bonnie Tan, officially designated as Northport's team manager. But yeah, he stepped in, and we know Coach Bonnie Tan has already been a mentor in the PBA. He's a championship coach in the collegiate ranks. He knows what he's doing. And yesterday, Coach, in the interview, what Coach Bonnie said was they're just continuing the system and the foundation that Coach Pido had set for Northport.
He's too humble. Coach Bonnie is just way too humble. He's a good coach in his own right. He is also a winner at the same time with the Letran Knights when he coached the Letran Knights. So that in itself is already a good combination of the coaching staff. May teamwork din kasi sila dyan. That's the most important thing there. And that's the reason why kahit wala si Coach Pido, they are still able to deliver and win games.
And that is why also, coach, that's why we call it a coaching system, right? It's not a day-to-day and a game-to-game thing for these guys. There are certain principles that you want to instill in the entire team, sometimes the entire organization, just so when there are changes like this as well, you're prepared for them. It's not just preparing for one game all the time.
Usually preparing for an entire season. You look at many different scenarios, different situations for your team, and you prepare that in practice. So at the start of the conference, even in the previous years, all these coaches already prepare for the league as a whole. So they work on conditioning and everything that will prepare them for a tough grind ahead.
Jericho Cruz scoring his first bucket here. That's a good sign for the Road Warriors after he was silenced against TNT, only 8 points in that game. And also a good sign for Robert Bolick and the Northport Batang Pier as he is able to score on a tough jumper. Rolling to the basket was Soyud, but the pass of Panyamogan stripped away. Bolick has definitely turned out to be a very solid young guard in the league. He is being chased by Miranda, and well, that wasn't the situation that Mike Miranda wanted to be in.
Yes, that was unnecessary already because Bolick was all the way out there close to the half-court line.
Bolick missing that time. We did show that Bolick was able to score 15 points in their previous game, but then, you know, he was struggling from the field, coach. It was only, I believe, in the second quarter when Greg Slaughter was ejected that Bolick was able to string a few buckets. As for NLEX right now, they're starting on fire.
Well, maganda, this is a good sign for NLEX because they did have a struggle against, their previous opponent.
By the way, Coach Eric, something big as well for Northport in this game. We remind everyone that Greg Slaughter exited their game yesterday in the second quarter with about 8 minutes remaining when a flagrant foul penalty 2 was whistled on him when he fouled Adams. But then today, he's not going to be available for this game, reportedly due to an infected wound. So Slaughter out of this game for Northport. Alonso trying his very best to pick up after the absence of Greg, but that's the second time during this weekend that we saw a ball get stuck on a layup or on a shot.
Well, Dave Marcelo a while ago took a corner three-point shot from the right side, and that ball hit the corner of the rim and got stuck.
So actually that makes it 3 because yesterday we also saw, I think it was Elorde. We were covering that game.
Yes, I remember. And I was even telling you that Jamie Malonzo should just pick the ball up.
Did you see how high Malonzo was?
Wow.
Over Soyud, and that's a jump that's just a standing vert. That guy can really
get up.
Bolick step back, Cruz right in front of him. Malonzo showing his range. He can hit as well.
He knows that the offense was getting pressured a lot, and the shot clock was going down. So he just decided to take matters into his own hands.
I was able to talk to Coach Patrick Tanchoco of Better Basketball PH, who helped Malonzo prepare for the draft. His skills trainer, and he was telling me that the shooting range of Malonzo is underrated. But I mean, also at the same time, of course, it's one thing to be able to knock down those shots and knock down shots like that.
Those are faraway shots.
Wow. Look at Bolick just shaking his head, says, nah, I'm not gonna be stopped.
That was a jump shot all the way from the toll gate of NLEX.
Yep. And I'm not sure if you're allowed to pass through that if you're just walking like Robert Bolick without a vehicle. Big hollow at the rim. Just quickly wrapping up that story on Malonzo. It's one thing, coach, to shoot the lights out in the gym than, in an actual game. But We're seeing the three-point shooting of Northport on a tear right now. 3 straight for them.
Well, you know, Northport has so much confidence coming off that game yesterday.
Yeah, look at this. It started with this one from Alonso. And that was a 28-footer. Bolik said, I can do farther. 30 feet away from the basket. And Taz said, okay, not that far, but same result. 3 points again for Northport. We have a timeout brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. The Northport Batang Pier, they've shot 3 of 5 from downtown and 3 3-pointers. Those were their last attempts. They've taken a 4-point lead here. Cruz, wow, looking to get 3 points in a different way. And that stops a 9-0 run for Northport.
He took it strong here. Paulo Taha tried to challenge a shot. But once he got elevation and they had a collision in midair, shows you the upper body strength of Jericho Cruz.
Absolutely, and you know, Cruz always loves attacking the basket. Whether he is in an NLEX uniform, the time that he was with TNT, with Rain or Shine, even the Guam national team, his game remained the same. He attacks the basket so fearlessly. Alonso, step back, another 3, not this time. Panyamogan. Here is Porter now. Cruz coming out to get it. Porter falling away by the free throw line.
Chris Porter is steady with that perimeter J. We've seen him many times in their previous games. Even against Magnolia, I remember him hitting in certain stages of the game those perimeter jumpers.
And that is gonna be an end one opportunity for Paulo Taha, taking it to the core of Kenneth Ighalo. These two teams, Coach Sheringham put on a brilliant display of offense.
I like the way Paulo Taha went strong. Even with that collision, he was still able to bring that shot off.
Yeah, it was definitely a big boy collision there, but also at the same time, what I felt made it a blocking foul on Kenneth Ighalo. His body was a little bit angled. That's why it's almost his shoulder that Taha bumped into. That's not giving him, you know, the optimal position to draw charge.
He wasn't really established yet because Paulo Taha went strong to the basket.
Oh, block there. Onubere stops that shot. Taha will enjoy a pristine pass to the hoop.
Now it's Northport running NLEX to the ground.
That's also how they got a win yesterday against Terra Firma. Getting it in transition. I mean, we showed how many fast break points, points from turnovers that they got. Doing it again.
Well, this is one way to get some easy baskets. And against Terra Firma yesterday, Northport just kept on pushing and getting those easy shots.
Paulo Taha has been a major contributor here in the first quarter. Now with 8 points, more than half of the output of the Batang Pier. Kevin Alas starting to get going. That's what NLEX would want to see.
Well, it's nice to see Kevin Alas start to pick up his scoring because in the previous games he was limited.
Malonzo. Bolick, only 5 seconds in their shot clock. He's taking his time. I'm not sure if he realized the shot clock was winding down. Oh, I think he did, because he was able to sneak that one through to Onubere.
Robert Bolick has has everything at the back of his head. What the shot clock is, what the game clock is.
Oh, Malonzo hanging in the air. And Northport is counting by threes here, Coach Eric. If it's not a three-pointer,
Look at him glide. Oh, look at that. Look at how high he got up. And even that collision with Porter, he was still able to finish an acrobatic shot.
Incredible. And for Malonzo, it may not have been a dunk, but it felt like a windmill layup.
He can do a lot of acrobatic shots because of his athletic ability. And he can even hang in the air.
Porter, NLEX will want to have a spark here, but Northport looking to force another turnover. Porter was able to save that possession. Nice behind the back play on Wobere. Again with a stop. His second block here in the first quarter. Offense and defense, both are checks for Northport.
Yes, he's doing his job very well in the absence of Greg Slaughter. Right now, you see Onubere swatting away 2 shots there already.
And Onubere, I feel like his offense has taken a backseat, but it looks like he's very much okay with it. He understands what is needed from him by Northport right now.
Well, the most important thing for every player is, number one, know your role. Then, if ever there are other facets, Kevin Alas definitely knows his role because he still went hard and he's starting to hum here in this game.
Yeah, beating the shot clock as well on that floater. Bolick staring down Semeran. Different generations of San Beda Red Lions. Bolick, the dance, the step back. Doesn't get the bounce.
He almost made that shot.
Would have really been an impressive highlight there. Semeran thought about it as well. Kicks it out to Porter. He has that shot. Chris Porter a little too strong. And Soyud is the best in the league when it comes to rebounds and second chance points. In this conference at least. And shows us those 2 things that he does well.
Well, Roel Soyud had great position here, but definitely Kevin Alas has a better position to finish that shot of 2 Northport players.
The best position for Kevin Alas is him having that ball and attacking the paint. For Soyud, it's him cleaning up after his teammates, sometimes himself as well, brings NLEX within 2.
Substitution will availability for Rowan Sawyer.
Back to the game here between Northport and NLEX. Batang Pier, thanks to their outside shooting, gotten a lead here. Alonso looking to add more, and he does!
He's really showing us everything in his arsenal already, the past couple of games.
You know, earlier I said there was a 9-0 run by Northport. Allow me to correct myself. That shot from Taha by the baseline earlier, it was ruled a 2. So, for the Batang Pier, that latest Malonzo shot was only their 3rd three-pointer. Nonetheless, they're doing a lot of damage here. Foul whistle there. Look at this. Malone's just so slick with it. He can play above the rim and far from it. That's a complete player.
Yes, versatile.
Also defensively, coach, right? You can also rely on him.
It really makes a difference when you are athletic.
Anthony. They're looking for the hot hand in Malonzo. Ball lands back in the hands of Sean. Spots Ferrer. Corner three. Not that time. Porter with the board. That was an open look for Ferrer. Just couldn't get it to fall down. Porter kicks it out. Semeran. He loves the corner.
That's good ball movement there by NLEX.
Sean Anthony ahead of everyone else gets that bucket. And you know what? Northport looks unafraid of the interior defense of Porter right now. NLEX. Oh, that's going to be a foul on Porter, I believe. Yes, it will be on Porter as Anthony, pesky as ever as a defender. Whatever team he plays for, he brings a lot of energy and a lot of intensity, just like this.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, Sean Anthony, he will never be afraid to mix it up. He will never shy away from floor burns or get banged up underneath because he really trains his body hard to make sure that he is ready for any kind of action here in the PBA.
Now Coach Bonnie Tan moving around his players. Bolick will take a seat after a solid performance early in this game. Here in the first quarter, he has 5 points and 4 assists. Alas, 5 points under his name. Porter, look at Anthony, just really trying to give pressure there. McAloney underneath. Had to reach up high to get that board, but couldn't get that shot to fall in. Anthony asking for it. Now attacking, gives it to Elorde. Under a minute to go here in the first quarter. NLEX is Northport rather, is staying patient on offense. There was a little bit of miscommunication there in their offensive spacing. Elorde and Lanete overlapping in their spaces. Now they'll slow it down. Although it kind of felt like they had an opportunity with Balanza.
But sometimes they're not able to identify that, but Balanza getting trapped there.
That trap forcing a turnover for the Northport Batang Pier. 20.6 seconds left in the first. NLEX will try to climb closer. Down by 5 points. It was largely thanks to the offensive flow of the Northport Batang Pier. Smart foul that Elorde gave up there, not yet a penalty. They actually have a few more to give. They were able to strip away about 11 seconds off that clock. Very effective foul there. Alas using the pick. Slithering through.
Wow.
Kevin Alas! He just knows how to get that ball through the net.
Well, that was a great move there by Kevin Alas. He went through a phalanx of defenders. He went to 3 Northport players, shot clock down, and he is still able to make that shot to fall.
Alas now with 7 points, but NLEX still trailing by 3. Northport rolling offensively, 29 points in the first quarter alone. Coach Gao and the NLEX Road Warriors looking to find answers for the offensive onslaught so far of the Batang Pier, because for Northport, the offense has come from different guys, Coach Eric. You know, there was a time Alonzo had his way, and then Taha also there balling, obviously, not just with scoring, but also the facilitating.
Well, that's something nice about any team. You don't really want it to be like a only one-man show every single time, especially now that you have a lot of good players and great teams. So you want to keep the scoring and all the, the, the contribution spread out in any team.
You know, Northport played yesterday, so you're going to be thinking as well of the fatigue factor. We're not seeing it right now. And the way they won against Terra Firma yesterday, Coach, those are the kinds of wins as, boy, oh boy, they hit another three, and it's a 4-point play opportunity for Sean Anthony. Offense has come in bunches, you see that. You know, it's funny because we just heard through our headsets Macaloni saying, "Ref, wala naman eh." And then we see that replay and he hit the entire arm of Sean Anthony.
You know how it is. They don't really want to admit. And the most important thing there is, you know, they try to challenge the shot.
And like we said, you know, Northport just played yesterday, but they won against Terra Firma by 20 points. They played so well. Those are the kinds of games that you want to play again ASAP, as soon as possible, because you know you're rolling, you have momentum, your morale is high, everything.
Well, you know, I just want to see how long they can sustain this, because you know Northport just played over like maybe less than 24 hours
Yeah,
ago.
because their game yesterday started at
At 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. Yeah. A little over 24 hours. Maybe.
Konti
But
lang,
still,
hindi din.
yeah, but still.
And NLEX was the one who was able to at least get a break. So although NLEX is not falling far behind, they're still in good shape.
But energy-wise, it's Northport, Coach. That's come with a higher energy to this game. Macaloni trying to change that. How many times have we seen someone finish through the foul in this game? Alonso did it. Taha did it. That three from Anthony. Macaloni did it. Lots of end-one opportunities.
Well, they're all taking it strong. That's the reason why, you know, despite the foul, you are able to finish it.
NLEX is 4-4 right now, Coach. So after this game, they only have 2 more. What kind of situation and sense of urgency do you think they should play with, understanding where they lie in the team standings?
Well, it's very important here, Jot, at this stage. You're going to want to try to at least get into positions 3 to 6. Because you don't want to be falling to the 7 and 8 position, because that would mean you'll be playing the top 2 teams for a twice to beat disadvantage.
That is why NLEX doing everything they can to get this lead away from Northport. Do get second chance here. They reset their offense. Kevin Alas being guarded by Elorte. Kevin slithering through, fouled by Wright. He's saying that he was on the in the act of shooting. Referees are not convinced. Looks like they're just gonna give a sideline inbound.
Coach Chieng, yo, we could hear Coach Chieng all the way here.
There is an act of shooting and there is an act of shouting. So I think it's the latter that time. Warning given on Coach Yeng Giao.
He's just trying to fire up his players.
Absolutely. And I mean, whatever a coach has to do, sometimes, di ba coach, may mga nagpapa-technical talaga eh.
Oh, yes.
What fires their players up.
That's all part of it.
(32-31) Northport ahead. Ferrer for the Macaloni. Kevin Ferrer takes the J. That rims out. Outside shot hasn't been as kind to Northport as it was back in the first quarter. Opportunity now for NLEX to take the lead. Hand off to Alas, being chased by Elorde. That frees Miranda up. Beautiful execution of the Road Warriors.
Picture perfect. Kevin Alas curled after that handoff. He drew that defense na libre, or Miranda was wide open for that J.
Now back on defense is NLEX. Gray just coming up too strong on the English of that shot. NLEX now with the lead, 33 to 32. And Alas has been running the show, not necessarily scoring. That time though, NLEX loses the basketball. Ferrer back to Lanete. Beautiful transition attack.
And Northport is still pushing that ball in every opportunity they have.
Yeah, they're still tapping into their running game. And the reason why is because they're forcing a lot of turnovers. 8 already for NLEX. Under 8 minutes to go here. Alas working a two-man game with Macaloni. Only 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Semeran above everyone else. Wow.
Well, that's a lot of strength and athletic ability there. Anthony Semeran just jumping over 2 Northport players, used his body to really bump them out of the way.
Elorde leaves Alas and almost a nice play. That was actually a fantastic find from Elorde.
That was a dunkable shot for me for Troy Reich, and he should go for that dunk in that situation.
Otroliano, that spin move got him near the basket, but missing that layup. And now it's Northport. Elorde by the free throw line. It's a miss. You notice there was a little bit of hesitation when he received that pass from Lanete, and it was enough to kind of force the miss.
He was hoping, Elorde was hoping that the rotation from the 3-on-2 fast break would go to him instead of the 2 players.
Right will be called for a charge.
But he wanted to make up for that sorry miss. That's why he wanted to ask that ball and go hard to the basket. You see him, he really feels upset about missing that point-blank shot.
And there's a little bit of reluctance to shoot from the players of the Batang Pier right now. They're moving that basketball very well. But they're almost on the brink of overpassing sometimes, Coach, because there have been good looks that have been passed on. Ostana being the one to set the play here for NLEX. Miranda, he has that jumper. Malonzo's giving him the space. Miranda decides to pass anyway. Semeran being hobbled by Gray. Northport takes that ball away. Taha will enjoy another transition attack.
You know, Northport, Jut is the #1 fast-breaking team in the league. So this is the reason, this is one of their strengths. If you want to really check Northport's average in terms of fast break, you really have to sprint down and play defense.
Well, it has been a shootout. Back and forth with these 2 teams. When NLEX makes something, Northport answers, and then NLEX again. That's why the Road Warriors are ahead by 1 again. We have a timeout brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Let's take a look at the team standings once again, Coach Eric. And we see NLEX right there in the middle of the pack. Northport just really one spot under them.
See, but the difference is Northport has You have 6 games, 5 more games, including this. NLEX has 3 games, including this. So, but when you talk about positioning for NLEX, definitely you need a guy like Calvin Oftana, their top draft pick in the PBA draft. I mean, he's a promising rookie that definitely can help NLEX go to the next round.
He was the third overall pick of the recent PBA draft. His matchup right now in Jamie Malonzo is actually the second overall pick. Wow, the offenses of these two teams have just been clicking here in the first half.
Shooting percentages should be really high here.
Oftana, joined by Ayonayon, Porter, Soyud, and Semerad. NLEX has gone pretty big here on the floor. A second left. Ayonayon had to put that one up. Malonzo, no one there to get as high as he did to grab that rebound. Bolik. He's been loving this matchup against Semerad, actually.
He's just too shifty. He likes the challenge of Semerad being a taller guard.
Alonzo missing that time from deep. Ayonayon looking to attack, steps back, swings it to Semerad from outside. No good. Malonzo again with the rebound. That's the 7th rebound of Jamie Malonzo.
Wow. We're only in the second quarter.
Bolik to the rack, gets that to fall in.
It's extremely hard to guard Robert Bolik. One, he's so quick. Number 2, you sag off on him to adjust on his quickness. He can take it from the outside.
Look at this. He went there on a mission, and he collected what he came in for, drawing the foul on Semerad, and Robert Bolik able to get that one and the bonus. Bolik now has 8 points and 5 assists. Four and 20 to play here in the first half. Here's Porter. Hand off to Cruz. Taha giving chase. And Cruz will draw a foul there. Cruz was also looking for a goaltend on Malonzo. Not sure if the referees will try to take another look at that.
We have a review for possible goaltending violation.
Okay, so they announce it. They're gonna review that. What do you see here, Coach?
He went straight up. It looked good from that angle. But the thing is, our angle, we were covered by the glass. It's a good block.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a block. No goaltend there.
Goaltend.
Batar was adamant that he should not have been called for a foul.
You know what? When Jamie Malonzo gets up in the air, and he blocks your shot, you would always say it's goaltending because
That's
he
right.
just gets up so high, and you think that he'll just like pluck it out of the air on the way down.
And you know, it's also, Coach, the curse of guys who can really jump off the roof. I mean, Japet, also, when you get up high, when you can still reach that basketball, you will always get tempted to swat it away or touch it. Diba? So that's also why Japet would probably be one of the guys in the league who has been called for goaltending many times, or more times than anyone else, is because he can reach that ball even if it's at the highest of its peak.
Well, because they're gifted or not with leaping ability, and that's their role, to be the shot blocker of the team.
Yeah, it takes a lot of discipline, I guess, to understand as well when you're gonna get called for a travel, you still touch that. Nonetheless, here, NLEX disrupted in their fast break attack.
Would have been a nice pass, but NLEX or Northport thwarted that assist attempt.
Yeah, Northport feels like it should be their basketball, but I thought it was clear that it bounced off of a Batang Pier.
No,
before.
they didn't see it bounce off their teammate.
Porter left open. Elbow J, too strong. Rebound taken by Oftana. He's asking for a cut. There it is. Ayon one-hander over Malonzo.
Wow. That would have been a nice looper to get it off over Jamie Malonzo.
Not the easiest thing to do. That's what we know.
Yes, definitely.
3 minutes to go in the first half. 2-point lead for Northport. This has been very close. Malonzo thought about it. Taha barreling in, not getting the bucket this time, but instead will shoot 2 free throws.
Late in the rotation right there.
This is foul number 18, Mike Ayonayo.
Look at Oftana.
NLEX Road Warriors.
Good cut.
Yeah, and Oftana has truly been facilitating the offense of NLEX ever since he checked into the game here in the second quarter. A northern battle between the Northport Batang Pier and these guys, the NLEX Road Warriors, who had some success and are trying to get more, but they're coming off back-to-back losses. They want to correct that because we're already nearing the end of our single round robin eliminations.
When you look at the team standings, both of these teams are bunched up together. It's just that the difference is mas marami pang laro ang Northport. Now, when you have a tournament format like this, the games in the elimination rounds are very short. You play each team once for 11 games. So at the end of the tournament, the top 8 advances to the next round. Then the positioning is really determined by how they play in the elims. And it will also determine who will be the pairings when it comes to the quarterfinal round.
That's right. And, Coach, we took a look at the team standings earlier. NLEX 4-4, Northport 3-3, and they're currently 6-7 in the team standings. And that just goes to show that even though may mga games pa sila left to play after this, they could very well end up maybe with a tied record, or this game could determine who has a higher seed and a lower seed between these two teams. That's why this game is of utmost importance. Now, that pass from Ayon was intended for Oftana, pero tumama kay Porter, and that's why it landed out of bounds.
Well, for both of these teams, I think both Northport and NLEX, they should consider each other as winnable games. Because if you still have a game against TNT, San Miguel, Ginebra, all those top teams in the team standings, well, except for Ginebra right now, you will always be up for a tough game. And it's not as winnable as many people would think. So, between NLEX and Northport, these are winnable games between each other.
That's right. And I'm sure they would want to capitalize as well with the situation for other teams in the league right now. Pretty surprising, I would say, for some other teams, for a lot of fans, I guess. Barangay Nebra not really playing at their best right now, struggling to get wins. Barangay Nebra actually finds themselves in danger of not making it to the playoffs. But we know that there's the never say die there. But it's just surprising they're near the bottom of the standings instead of the top, because that's your defending champions right there.
They've been struggling, Jot. The hard part with Barangay Nebra is they had some good games, but they are on a roller coaster ride right now. And it was really tough. Their loss today against
TNT
was they're not playing the kind of game that they really want to play.
For Northport and NLEX here, do you feel like they've been able to tap into the strengths of into their strength that they want to capitalize on in this matchup?
Well, I feel that Northport has, since they still have a lot of games, we're seeing a lot of good things with them after their win against Terra Firma. And it's quite evident with the way they're playing NLEX. But on the part of NLEX, after that, we transferred the games here in Pampanga, they had a good start, but they couldn't get over the hump after those two successive wins that they had here in Pampanga.
Yeah, because at some point they were the hottest team in the league because they also won their final game before the month-long break. So after winning the first two games in Bacolod, they were on a 3-game win streak. Then again, bumped into the giant powerhouses of the league in Magnolia and TNT.
Well, if they won against Magnolia, well, they looked a lot better in Magnolia versus their last game against TNT. So should they have performed well and win over Magnolia, and I think the way NLEX should be playing is going to be a lot different because they will be gaining a lot of confidence there.
That's right. For Northport as well, the short history of their Philippine Cup campaign here, I would say it's pretty impressive. They've had to go through a lot of challenges. Right now, they are not with their head coach, Coach Pido Harencio, who again is not with the team due to health and safety protocols. There was also a time, even before the month-long break, Coach Eric, that Northport, their tournament was put on pause, again because of health and safety protocols. But still, they're at 3-3 with 5 games left, and they lead NLEX by 4.
They're not even completed because Greg Slaughter is not even 100% yet. I mean, he was playing their past games, but then after that, now he just couldn't suit up because of a wound. I think that he couldn't really prepare or protect for this game.
Oftana missing his first one from the free throw line. You always want to capitalize on these freebies, especially in a tight one like this.
30-second timeout.
Northport has already taken 14 free throws here, and those that Oftana took were just free throws number 5 and 6 for the NLEX Road Warriors. With about half a minute left in the first half, 48-45 is the score. The Batang Pier on top. And, again, taking a look at the team standings right now, there you see Tropang Giga. Just after that loss to San Miguel, they've gotten back to their winning ways, Coach Eric.
Yes, definitely. They started picking up, in their last 2 games. And that was the most important thing for them. They beat Barangay Ginebra earlier, and that was a tough matchup, but they did it well. And of course, their game against NLEX, that was the previous game that they had, wherein they were able to showcase the great game of Mikey Williams.
And there you see, on the right bottom of your screens earlier, TNT has already qualified for the quarterfinals, and officially Blackwater has lost its chances to break into the next round. It just truly has been a forgetful tournament for the Blackwater Bossing too.
Well, right now, on the part of the league leaders, TNT, Tropang Giga, they just want to solidify their hold to either the first or the second place position just to make sure that they would get twice to beat advantage in the next round.
Lenete tried from deep, unsuccessful. NLEX can take the last shot of the first half, but they go for a quick one for Ayon. That's a miss. Now a chance for Northport. They have 3 seconds, but a foul given up. Oh, the question is, will they give free throws? I don't think so, though, but it was a duty foul. It was also smart for bowling to try and
Very
do
smart.
that
Very
from
smart.
half court. I mean, if they rule it, the act of shooting, then you take free
That's
throws.
three free throws.
And Oftana will get a steal. Cruz, not exactly what you want to hit. He hit the shot clock on that half-court heave. But Northport, Coach Eric, has done it offensively and defensively. They've gotten in transition. Taha, usually the beneficiary.
Well, they've been doing well on the fast break side. A lot of the fast break attacks are coming from this team. And Paulo Taha was always the guy benefiting from all those fast break attacks.
Absolutely. Only 8 points in their game against the Terra Firma Jeep here. Taha already with 12 and Northport up by 3 points after 24 minutes. We've reached the fold here in this battle between the Northport Batang Pier and the NLEX Road Warriors here in the Honda PBA Philippine Cup 2021. Jotsuli together with Coach Eric Reyes bringing you the action over here on PBA Rush. Thank you for joining us. Let's look back at the action that we saw back in the first quarter. Northport rolled offensively. It was a lot of outside shots. Jamie Malonzo doing, giving us a display of his outside shooting. How about this?
Well, it's like a half-court contest shot.
Right.
Eventually, like I said, all these players are shooting all the way far out. Baka magkaroon na ng 4-point shooting line.
That's right. Kevin Alas, though, coach for NLEX, it was him and Jericho Cruz who provided the positives and made sure that NLEX was still in this game.
Well, they've been keeping close with the Northport bottom pair. Although the thing with Northport, they love to do this. They love to play defense and then run. They kept on running, and they're the #1 fast-breaking team in the league.
Yeah, that's what we'll see later when we show you the numbers. But from the highlights alone, you can already tell that Northport enjoyed a lot of transition opportunities.
Well, the bad thing for NLEX is they're giving away a lot of easy baskets, and those are coming off transition attacks. That's something that you don't want in the long run, especially that Northport is the mind or the confidences of Northport is sky high after their previous victories.
Absolutely. There is what we told you. The points off turnovers, the fast break points, all dominated by Northport.
But look at the 11-1 fast break points. But something good about NLEX is they're really getting a lot of rebounds. So field goal percentage story, that's quite high for both teams. But then, the trade-off is Northport is winning the points off turnovers and fast break points. So in short, NLEX will definitely have to take care of that basketball.
That's right. And in terms of rebounds, NLEX has controlled that mightily. And that's also why they're still in this game. Now, here are the leading scorers. I just want to point out, on top of the 11 points of Jamie Malonzo, he also leads Northport in the entire game, actually, in rebounds with 9.
Well, John, this is not a good sign, but of course, something good for Northport. 3 players from Northport already has double figures. I would even consider Bolik having the double figures. Almost 4 players in double figures. On the part of NLEX, it's basically spread out. The nice thing about it is they're getting a lot more rebounds, and they're keeping the game close until they have a nice run here in the second half.
After the 9 rebounds of Malonzo, it's already Lanete and Ferrer who are next with 2 apiece. So you're looking also at the rebounds that they're missing because of the absence of Slaughter.
Yes, that's true. The only good thing about Northport, even if they don't have their #1 center there, is they're scrappy. They always help out, and their hands are active, and they try to swipe the ball a lot.
Yeah, because Northport actually leads the league in rebounds. So that's something that, well, they're not enjoying right now because, again, of the absence of their tower in Greg Slaughter. Nonetheless, they still lead this game heading into the third quarter, up by 3. By no means safe in this ball game, but is there any adjustments that you feel these teams need to make here in the second half?
Well, when you talk about NLEX, they definitely have to take care of that basketball. And they also have to put a stop on that fast break attack of Northport.
That's going to be an offensive foul. Another turnover as Trollano warded Onwubere off before making that attempt.
Onwubere is playing a great job manning the slot, in the absence of Greg. He is challenging every shot. We already saw him block 2 shots, I believe, in the first half.
Alonso has the basketball now. Bolik comes out to get it. Bolik against Cruz. 1-on-1 between these 2 talented guards. They swing it out. 6 seconds on the shot clock. And now Jamie Malonzo. That shot doesn't fall. NLEX going to Kevin Alas.
You gotta keep an eye on Kevin Alas. Any single time, he will be aggressive in attacking the basket. You think that the point guard would always want to set, but if Kevin sees that the hole or the lane is open, he definitely will just go straight to the basket.
Kevin Alas actually was given a reserve role for this game. Came off the bench, but still, of course, as always, played heavy minutes back in the first half. And well, right now, he's tied for the leading scorer of NLEX with 8 points together with Jericho Cruz. And before and now, before I'm talking about when Kiefer Avena was actively on this roster, the strength of NLEX has always been their guards, their backcourt. And Bolik says, hey, that's the same thing for us. As now, coach, you can really consider him in double figures because he now has 10 points.
Oh yes, he can definitely score a lot. You see, the thing with Bolik, he doesn't really go all out in terms of scoring in the beginning because he wants to set the tone. He wants to focus more on setting up his teammates. And then once he feels it, you just watch him when he gets in the third quarter, he will be more aggressive in looking for his shot.
Did you notice that layup of Bolik, especially on the slow-mo? Usually, you would hold on to the part that gets hit after you make the shot, after you make the attempt. But Bolik, as he was attempting the layup, was already holding on to that part of his head that got hit on that foul. That's just how talented he is.
Oh yes, he's too shifty, and I like his legs are. He's bouncy when he sprints down on defense.
And he can also hit from downtown.
He will really go crazy with this player trying to guard him, and there he goes again. He is holding on to his
The stroke.
Yeah, the stroke.
The bigote stroke.
That's where the magic is coming from.
And every time he starts doing that, it's like,
He better be scared.
Uh-oh. Soyud underneath. Oh, Miranda and Malonzo. Collar developing between those two players actually.
Well, Jamie has to learn that sometimes players will try to get into his head.
Especially now, coach, that he has become, I would say, the front runner for the most outstanding rookie in
For
this
sure.
bubble. If that's so, the award they'll give out again, the award that was won by Aaron Black last year.
For sure, there will always be a chance that there's so much opportunities for him as a rookie, and then hindi malayong mangyari yun dyan, na he will be able to get that award.
And for Malonzo as well, his performance yesterday, he had fun with it. And it was definitely to the delight of other fans in general. We love seeing all those dunks. But if you're a player, coach, especially a vet, and you're just about to face Northport and Jamie Malonzo, you're going to say, okay, kid, you're not going to have that much fun against me.
And I'm sure Miranda's also trying to get into his head. He's a very physical player. You don't want him to go showtime mode again the way he did yesterday.
Yeah, and remember when we were covering that game, you were also talking about how those dunks were the ones that really boosted Northport, mostly, in terms of their morale and their mental, I guess, preparation was also put on a pedestal because of how well Malonzo was playing in, again, those electric dunks. NLEX might need a highlight that will wake them up completely. I mean, they've been playing well, but just so far, not well enough yet to get the lead.
I think for NLEX to get ahead of Northport, you need someone to spark them up.
But Bolik says, you know what? It's my turn. Robert Bolik with a couple of threes right on the face of an NLEX defender.
I told you, it's the third quarter where he starts going wild in his scoring.
Last game around, coach, in that win against Terrafirma, Bolic was only 5 for 17 from the field, but right now, that's 3 consecutive makes that he got. And the Bigote man is on a tear right now. Robert Bolic is playing like a man possessed, hitting it from outside a couple of times, and even when he's taking it strong to the basket, still providing the points and everything nice for Northport. We have a timeout brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. And after going 5 for 17 from the field yesterday, good for 15 points, Bolic here today already has 19 points on stellar 7 for 10 shooting from the field.
70% for the guard. And that's where he gets his power right there.
You know, we've seen him, coach. I think he's brought out several celebrations. Remember yesterday, we saw him kind of kneel on the floor and just pump his fist in the air, of course. All these antics. Nothing is better than that mustache throw.
So don't expect him to shave that in any given time. He's going to keep that there. That's his lucky charm.
If there is Fear the Beard, I wonder what we can come up with for the stash. 11-point lead now for Northport.
We'll come up with something, Judge.
Oh, definitely. 7:40 left. That timeout requested earlier by NLEX. Now that's in the hopes of arresting this rally. But then look at Northport move that ball so well, spotting Lanete from deep.
NLEX has to get more disorganized. They need to find other options. So for JR Kinyahan, I haven't seen JR Kinyahan in the game.
Yeah, that's right.
So he's on the bench, but could be not playing for today. We'll see.
Kinyahan, you know, was one of the bets of this NLEX squad. The Road Warriors definitely missing his services right now. I mean, the guy averages 12.3 points and 4.8 rebounds, add in 2.1 assists a game.
That's the difference of the score.
That's right.
Unless someone steps up, but so far, Kevin Alas needs help. Maybe Trollano has to score more.
But then Bolic on a mission, flexing his muscles on his attack.
Wow, 10-0 run here. Northport flanking NLEX.
The Road Warriors doing everything they can. Semerad missing. And here is a loose ball foul on Malonzo, I believe. On, possibly not on Malonzo. Oh, it is. It is on him. He cannot believe it.
Shot clock at 14 seconds.
Malonzo stands 6'6".
Yes.
And it feels like he can also jump over another 6'6" guy. Has the ability to shoot from outside. We saw that earlier in this game. Can defend multiple positions. And he's young, like you said, Coach Eric. This guy will still
Makes a
grow.
difference, yes. Yeah, that will
yeah.
work for his advantage, John. The shuffle of players continues to happen for Coach Ying. He's really trying to find that right five to really play better than the 5 inside.
Yeah, you're right. And it's already the style of coaching that he likes to mix up his rotation every now and then. And it's also a matter of not really finding the formula that works against Northport right now.
Look at this here.
14 seconds to shoot.
I wonder how many times that happened in San Beda practice before. Bowling underneath. Kicks it out. Laneta once again. Nothing there, and Oftana grabbing that board. Oftana has 4 rebounds now. Porter wasn't exactly ready for that drop pass, but although he was still able to make an attempt and draw a foul.
Fouls on number 7, Sidney Rivera, his second. 5 team fouls for Northport.
16-point advantage for Northport.
Northport continues to be, all the shots of, or all the attempts of NLEX are always challenged by Northport.
Sean Anthony for Jaime.
Momentum is on the side of Northport also. They're playing great basketball at this stage.
And for NLEX, that free throw from Porter is only their 5th point in this quarter. Well, he goes 2 for 2 from the line. The last field goal that NLEX has had here was at the 9:20 mark of the 3rd quarter. That's their last and only field goal actually here in the 3rd. Falling difficult shot. And Oftana will get that lefty lay-in.
Well, that was more of like a heat check for Bolik because it wasn't really a good shot. He was falling away from 3, and that was a tough shot to make. That's the reason why Oftana was able to leak out and go for a fast break.
With Bolik, it's also a package, coach. There's the skill, of course, the confidence, the swagger, and those are the things that make a superstar.
Oh, definitely.
Sometimes skill alone.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily make you a superstar, right?
Yes. I mean, it has to be like a total package also, and that's also the reason why he's in Gilas.
Right.
Because he has everything, and the most important thing there is he can really carry the team.
I mean, just look back at how he performed in the World Cup over in Foshan, China. It was him and CJ Perez, and at that point, a lot of people were just really ready to welcome the next generation of the national team because of how well Perez and Bolik played. And now NLEX going on a run of their own. Porter having to do a lot with it, and they've gotten within 10. This is something that they will want to see and will try to climb closer to Northport. This is our team standings right now. Important to note that the TNT Tropang Giga with an 8-1 record have already clinched their quarterfinals berth, and the Blackwater Bossing 0-9 coach Eric, unfortunately, officially they will not make it to the playoffs.
Yes, they won't make it already. But then the race to the quarterfinal slot, to the top 8, gets tighter and tighter. As you see, the teams are like all bunched up, 3, 4, 5 wins apiece for most of them. So the next week will be interesting to know, especially when all the other teams are back.
Northport here, they played this game without Greg Slaughter, who's out due to cellulitis, but still up by 12 points. That's the same thing that they did yesterday. Yes, just yesterday, Northport took action and they took a 20-point win over Terra Firma. They brought the same energy here to this game.
Yeah, definitely. I was surprised with the energy that they had here, considering they just played yesterday. But for some players, it doesn't really matter if they play every day, 3 times a day, because they love to play, and most of these players don't really even think of that anymore. I mean, they're an international game, you play every day there.
That's right.
So I guess most of these guys should already get used to that kind of schedule.
Well, if we're comparing it to the previous PBA schedule, the fact that these teams, this is actually, I believe, the first game in this tournament the first time in this tournament that the team had to play on back-to-back days, on consecutive days.
Yes.
But then, we're seeing some teams play 3 games in a span of 5 days, Wednesday, Fridays, Sunday, for a lot of these teams. And that's already a lot more frequent, Coach, than
Compared to the previous
what they
PBA
are
calendar.
used to, pretty much.
But can you imagine before, when this is pre-pandemic, whenever the PBA has games, that's only like 3 to 4 days a week.
That's right.
Because we have a Saturday game. And yet we were already, when we talk about the game, we already mentioned how many games they had in successive days, right?
Yeah, and then we were talking about, okay, Ginebra will be playing again. This is their second game in 3 days or in 4 days, but in reality, that now pales in comparison to the setup that's with this semi-bubble in Bacolor, Pampanga. But of course, all this considering that we are not exactly in normal times. Right?
Yes.
We are in the middle of a pandemic. Ron Anthony was called here for an offensive foul. To his dismay,
Just use that forearm to ward off Semerad.
you know what, we're just very happy, Coach, that the PBA is back. It has been for a couple of weeks now, but nothing like live basketball. We enjoyed looking back at some
Yes.
of the games during the month-long break, but nothing beats live action.
I enjoyed being there. The having the fans. That's what I miss a lot.
We miss watching you play.
You weren't born yet.
I think I might have seen a few games of yours. Maybe your retirement game. Who knows?
Maybe you were still in grade 1.
That might be true, Coach. I would have wanted to deny that, but it might have been true.
Well, sometimes you have to tell the truth.
7-point lead now for Northport.
I never lie, John. I never lie. I only lie when the referees call a foul on me.
That's right. I think, it's hard to trust someone when they say, last touch niya.
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing to trust.
To admit, oh, nice shot there. NX is slowly mounting a rally here.
Oh, yeah.
This is something good that, Coach Yeng put in with the 5 that he has inside.
I mean, this Northport lead reached 16 points here in this quarter. Suddenly, it's down to 4.
8-0 run here on the part of NLEX. Now, the question is what happened to Northport? Well, there were a lot of turnovers. There were a lot of shots taken. But this is something nice to see that, a guy like Semerad is leading the way and bringing his team back.
Gray at the free throw line knocks down the first. In the first part of this third quarter, Northport outscored NLEX 17-4. But since then, it's been an 11-5 rally for the NLEX Road Warriors. That has brought them back. I mean, remember that when this quarter started, Northport was only up by 3.
And since Bolik stopped scoring, that's the time when NLEX made a run.
Bolik. Now he starts scoring again.
He definitely needs to score now because the team is missing his scoring.
And when it comes to Robert Bolik, he's just so talented with that basketball. He just can score in a barrage of ways. quarter. 15-footer is good.
NLEX has started to get their game back.
We haven't seen Jericho Cruz in a while after scoring 8 points in the first half. Elorde getting the ball back after that miss. I think he's asking the referee why there wasn't a foul there. Nico Elorde, pesky defender and someone who can also provide offensively. He took on a bigger role when Robert Bolick was nursing that knee injury. And even in the return of Bolick, Elorde is still a major contributor.
So that's how it is. When you're given that opportunity because your teammate is out, you definitely have to, if you want to be a star in the league, you have to be ready when your number is called.
Miranda, I felt like he was asking for a foul. He was saying that Elorde hit his forearm. But is it possible to get called for a foul on a jump ball?
Well, we've seen that before when they jump, they hit the arm first because they won't really reach the ball.
That's right.
So they move your arm, they flick your arm out, and then they tap the ball.
I feel like it has to be convincingly intentional,
Yes,
for it to be a
it
foul.
has to be glaring. It has to be glaring.
Battle for the board of Tana, losing it to his former teammate, collegiate teammate in Bolick. Bolick, before that miss of NLEX, just hit a top fall-away jumper. He's taking matters into his own hands right now as the basketball once again. Bolick off the glass, not that time. Alas has a second to go. That will be the end of the third quarter. And Anthony and Miranda not appreciating the swing of Miranda's elbow to close out the third. We're seeing all the action here on PBA Rush in this game between Northport and NLEX. Both coaches being challenged, and Robert Bolick shining brighter than anyone else on that floor with 25 points, and he gave Northport an 8-point lead. Northport has a lot of talented players in their roster. We've been so impressed by their rookie, Jamie Malonzo. But at the end of the day, it's gonna be Robert Bolick Jr. who will be the heart and soul of this team.
For sure. He always led the way. He does so many things for the team. He's the perfect quarterback in my book because he would try to make his teammates look good. If the team struggles and they need the scoring, then he's the one who's going to take charge. And it was clearly seen. In the first half, he would take it. He would focus more on distribution. At the start of the third quarter, that's the time he will take charge.
Absolutely. And now we head into the fourth quarter. Final period. Will there be enough time for NLEX to mount a comeback? They did something good late in that third quarter because that lead was 116. And at some point in that third, NLEX was able to bring it down to 4. Of Tana trying to do damage underneath.
He's playing a good game. That's the reason why Coach Yang is keeping him in the game because he's been very active and aggressive.
And I think we're seeing here a role that we haven't really seen much of Tana in an NLEX uniform. He's been the facilitator, coach. He has had that ball in his hands a lot of time in that third quarter.
That speaks well of the kind of the player he is. He's a playmaker at the same time scorer.
With Sanbede, he was more of a stretch four. But I think even when he was in college, even though that was the role that he had to assume most of the time, we already saw that this guy can handle the basketball. He's very versatile and he can wear many hats when inside a basketball court.
That's the most important thing for every player. You have to be able to play multiple positions. You have to be skilled. It gives you more chances to get more playing time.
Onubere, he hesitated, but he still drains the triple.
So now Onubere is making his contribution again, coming from the outside.
9-point lead for Northport. Oftana again.
Nice
Going at
move.
the defense of Anthony in Northport.
I like his hesitation move here.
There you saw Onubere. They said that if you hesitate on an open shot, the percentage goes down. But maybe the percentage initially was 150, so nung bumaba, 100 pa rin.
Galing, he showed that he showed the three fingers on top of his head, but initially he hesitated.
Yeah.
So what do you talk about that? Is it a chamba? If you're confident, you know what to do with the ball, and as soon as you get that ball, you're gonna take that shot.
I wouldn't dare ask him, Coach, yaan na lang natin. But,
Well,
for...
It
Yeah,
always
go.
happens, Jat, when you have a wide open shot, sometimes, especially if you're not really known as a three-point shooter, there will always be a moment of hesitancy. But the good thing with this player, he will take a shot when he's really wide open because that's his role.
Good tap there for Oftana. Oh, look at Malonzo. Challenged mid-air by Oftana. Malonzo stays with it. Add another rebound, add 2 more points. Malonzo working with a double-double now.
Oftana got hit.
Yeah, Calvin Oftana definitely got hit. It was on the initial shot of Malonzo that he defended.
Maybe got hit in the mouth too.
Checking if there's some bleeding in there. It looks like there is a hit. Wound perhaps in his mouth.
Oh, oh no.
Oh yeah, that's
elbow.
definitely something that will hurt. Now we can't tell obviously if it was intentional because it was
Well, he was going for the shot.
exactly, yeah.
Those are the situations wherein it's really very hard to say if it's intentional or not because I've seen some players really do that also. They can plant the elbow on you before taking a shot. But it's very hard to tell if they're doing it on purpose because they're also trying to protect that ball and they're also going hard to the basket.
That is very true. There are situations where it's easy to tell. Right, Coach?
I
But
guess
then-
what they're trying to say, it depends on the player.
Not even it. I mean, also, I guess, you know what actually makes it easier to tell? How the game was flowing before that incident.
Yes.
Was there already color
Color,
developing?
yeah. Good point. Good
Has there
point.
been frustration being shown? I think that is more of a telling sign than the so-called reputation of a player.
True, true. Very good point there.
But I mean, if we wanna connect that to that incident with Malonzo, I mean, we didn't see anything developing between Oftana and Malonzo.
Oh, yes,
They
yeah.
just have been working hard.
Both rookies are playing hard. So with that, I think it's purely accidental.
And Oftana is there on the floor, back up on his feet and ready to help NLEX again. It would have been so unfortunate if he had to exit the game
Oh,
because
yes.
he had been playing so well for
Oh,
them.
yeah, definitely.
Cruz.
Oh!
Wow, Jericho Cruz. How about some power, some strength, and 2 points to go with it?
That was a bad foul. He got locked in already Paulo Taha was right there. He was right in front of him, but the mistake of Paulo Taha was reaching in.
Yeah, you know,
You shouldn't really be reaching in because you got him locked in the middle already.
Taha for
Nanggigil eh.
up until the very last moment, he just held his hands up.
Yes.
And he was playing excellent defense, but got tempted to make
Yes, ganun nga nangyari. Pero sayang because he defended him very well.
Elorde getting away, count the basket! And that is why they teach you that even when you hear the whistle, you still try to go for the shot.
Yes, yes, that was a very smart, good presence of mind there on the part of Nico Elorde.
That was the bump. Well, it was a little bit covered from that angle, but then never stopped. On his way to the basket, delivered the goods, gets the bonus. Misses it, however, but look, it turns into a 4-point play as Onubere tips it in.
I would give the X Factor award to Sydney Onwubere if Northport, goes on to win this game. He's
That
playing
play,
defense, he's scoring. Might not be much, but it counts.
Jamie Malonzo also, coach, has been, well, we already know he is a factor for this team, but he hasn't really been shooting the ball all that well. Only 5 for 12, which is a pretty decent clip. But it's the little things, everything else that he does. I mean, he disrupted that last play and forced a turnover, but Northport could not convert it into points. Soyut, spacing wasn't too good there, and it felt like it was definitely a dangerous pass from Panyamogan.
Yeah, they could have spread the floor a bit better there on that transition attack.
Balling to Ferrer from outside. Kevin O. And Trollano gets that rebound. Still a lot of time left for NLEX to mount a comeback. But they gotta get some things going here. Porter will miss again. Malonzo drops to the ground.
That was a good shot there by Porter, although he missed because it was still within the flow of the offense.
Look at this. This was what was supposed to be the bonus free throw of Elorde. He missed, but Onubere just got better position compared to Soyun. You know, usually it's tough to get position for a rebound or a tip in like that.
Yes.
Usually when you're a teammate of the free throw shooter, you're hoping for a longer bounce.
Naunahan eh. Yes, naunahan din si Soyud of that box out.
Semerad, nothing there. There's a few possessions already for NLEX that they've come up empty. Something that won't help them. Balling against Semerad. Anthony Semerad has been tasked to guard Balling the majority of this game. Ferrer lines it up.
He will always be a threat on the three-point line. You got to keep an eye on him wherever he is.
That was a scream, a release of frustration as well, because Kevin Ferrer was 1 for 6 from the field, only 2 points before he hit that 3. Cruz stops, pull up, no good. Long rebound to Semerad. Trollano gets it. And he tries his own version, no good. Soyud on the offensive rebound. Third attempt and finally a make for NLEX.
Second chance opportunities.
Well, again, they've been leading the rebounding count in this game. Alonso. Now they get it to Balling. It's Cruz guarding Robert. Onubere puts the ball on the floor. The bump and the bucket.
He's really playing a great game. No Greg Slaughter. He's the man in the middle, giving an all-around presence here.
9 points now for Sydney Onubere on top of 4 rebounds.
Nice
pass there. Cruz finding Soyud underneath.
Northport up by 12 again.
And like, see, even though they're still very much in this game and they've been able to somehow keep in step with Northport, and like, see, you really feel that they're missing J.R. Quinyan.
Yes.
Quinyan is out with a right hand injury. Timeout requested by Coach Yang Yao and the NLEX Road Warriors. This one brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. The Northport Batang Pier, they've been looking for form for several years now, and I felt like slowly they've been able to build the team that they want to build. One key thing was being able to get guard Robert Bolig via the draft. And recently, they got another important player in Jamie Malonzo, who has been showing out here in the semi-bubble in Bacolor.
Well, he definitely will be one of the superstars of this Northport team. You see what he did the previous games that they had, all the highlights. It energized the team. You can see what he's been doing already. After a couple of more years, this good player already will become great. And I can see it already with the way he's been performing.
You guys saw the numbers, 13 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists. Out of those 12 rebounds, 5 came on the offensive end. And 2 more things. He also had 1 steal. He also had 1 block. So it truly has been an incredible performance. And it's coming after yesterday's game where he had 6 explosive dunks.
Well, one thing nice is already playing well, but wait until he gets more experience. His decision making will be a lot better.
Bolig being forced out by Trollano. Only 7 seconds on their shot clock. Now it's Pier. Puts it up. Money on the 3. Kevin Ferrer. You see the celebration with both of his fists, because again, he struggled to start this game. Was 1 of 6 to start with, but 2 of 2 here in the 4th.
Well, even if players look at the exchange here, Trollano and Pier with the exchange of 3-point shots. I mean, there will be situations in the game that you will struggle, and you should always believe that your next shot will fall. Because if you quit in your shot, then that's the end of you.
And that's going to be an offensive foul on Bolig, warding off Trollano. Got the job done offensively, got the job done defensively there on Bolig. Now, over the last few minutes of this 4th quarter, whatever Northport threw at NLEX has been able to throw back. And that's why this lead has stayed at 12. But obviously, if you're NLEX, it can't be that way. You have to give an extra punch. 2 punches for every punch that Northport throws at you. They come up empty there, though.
Young rebounding on the part of Northport.
With Elorde, his contributions will not necessarily come through numbers that will reflect on the stat sheet, but it's a lot of intangibles with that guy. Now it's Northport's turn to call a timeout. They remain ahead in this game. They're up by 12. Back here on PBA Rush for the continuation of the Honda PBA Philippine Cup 2021. Once again, thank you for joining us here. Jot Sulit together with Coach Eric Reyes bringing you the action between the Northport Batang Pier and the NLEX Road Warriors. It's a northern battle over in Bacolor, Pampanga. And so far, it has been the Northport Batang Pier ahead in this duel. Sean Anthony, he has long been in the core of this Northport Batang Pier, but it feels like he no longer has to produce the same near triple-double numbers that he used to produce for them because he's getting a lot of help around him.
Yes, plus the the emergence of the new superstar, the new breed, Jamie Malonzo, and all these other guys who are already part of the team. So there's really more help coming from all those guys with Sean Anthony.
When Bolick had that knee injury, Anthony was the constant guy who helped, just make sure that this team stays together and that they will be able to compete. And he would have different running mates with him. At some point, it was Christian Sandhardinger, different guys. But then Anthony was a constant for the Batang Pier.
Well, I felt that the many games that I covered, I haven't really seen Sean yet score over 20 points.
Yeah, he's only averaging 7.5 6 points per game, 6.8 rebounds, and just 1.5 assists. But you see that foul whistled on Cruz, and frustration starting to mount already for the NLEX Road Warriors. But like we said, this is far from over. Lots of action yet to see here. Yet to be seen, rather, here in this game. Bolick has it. Pier. It's Oftana now that NLEX throws at Robert Bolick. Oh, and Oftana had his hand right in there, and no other result that we expected but him being called for foul. And still some bleeding, coach, from the mouth of Calvin Oftana.
Shooting two, Robert Bolick.
I truly wonder is Robert Bolick kind of training
I'm
his
sure he
mustache
does.
to grow in a certain way, because he keeps just stroking it, and sometimes that's what happens, right? I mean,
That's part of his routine, or
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
his mannerism to be able to get more confident. It's like a routine that you have to continuously do so that you know that you're doing things right.
well, Sean Anthony did the right thing there, stuck with the play, able to clean up that mess.
He's always the ever reliable power forward in the team.
Well, Trollano gets a three-pointer there, and looks like NLEX will be extending their defense in the backcourt, putting some pressure on Northport. The Batang Pier were able to inbound. They get it across the half-court line. Malonzo's pass to Anthony initially was disrupted, but Sean Anthony able to get it, and he draws a foul on NLEX.
That's his second.
Look at there, the missed free throw.
Oftana almost had it, but Anthony
Uh,
just did not give up.
Yes, he kept the ball alive. After Sean tapped the ball, it bounced off the glass, and that's the time he had that second chance to put
Two
it
free
back
throws
in.
for Sean Anthony.
And that's pretty much classic Sean Anthony, someone who will never stop until he gets the job done.
He's scary because that's great attitude for you. He's a workhorse. He's a warrior. So those are the things. Those are the players that you really have to watch out for because they will never stop competing.
The only thing is he's had a lot of troubles from the free throw line. Now 3 of 7 after coming up empty on that trip. Alas, that's his move.
Well, this is the only time I've seen Kevin Alas back on the floor and he starts scoring again.
Northport's lead down to 9. with 3 minutes remaining. That's why they're trying to use up some of the clock now. Bolick sizing up of Tana. Robert Bolick, nothing there. Rebound. And Anthony stepped out of bounds as he tried to save that basketball. So possession goes back to the Road Warriors.
It's going to be a key possession. Judd. Northport has, or rather NLEX has to score here.
And they score in a big way. Trollano getting that three-pointer.
Down 6.
And Northport, they were taking their time to inbound that basketball, and all that while, the clock was running. So I'm not sure if does it only stop in the last 2 minutes?
Inadvertent whistle.
Oh, there was an inadvertent whistle by the referee.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
oh, so now, after that three-pointer from Trollano, that was a huge one. It was also smart actually for NLEX to kind of take their time inbounding that basketball because, like you said, you know, they, I think, were able to shave off about 5 seconds from the clock.
Definitely.
Anthony getting away. Sean Anthony now with 13 points. Trollano feeling it. Don Trollano!
Down 5.
Another three-pointer for him and for NLEX. Oh, initially Ferrer wanted a timeout, but the referees say that 8 seconds have elapsed, and Northport was not able to cross the half-court line. So instead of being rewarded a timeout, now it's gonna be NLEX basketball. Trollano, the handoff to Alas. Crucial possession for the Road Warriors. Kevin was looking for a foul, did not get anything, not even a bucket. 5-point lead for Northport. Oftana right on Bolick's grill. Bolick to Onmubere. No!
Big rebound. Oh, I thought Ferrer would have picked up that rebound.
It's important to note that both teams are in penalty with a minute and 24 remaining. 5 points separating Northport and NLEX. With the way this game has been played, we truly feel and understand the importance of this game to these two clubs.
That was a good setup job there by Robert Bolick on Onmubere, just that he missed that attempt, but he was wide open.
So after review, Northport will keep possession, but there's a timeout requested here. Yeah, it's a very crucial possession for the Batang Pier, so they will try to map things out. Coach Yang Yao and the NLEX Road Warriors trying to mount a comeback here. They trailed by 16 points back in the third quarter, but they've been able to climb to within 5 here late in the fourth. And it has been a lot of Don Trollano.
Yeah, he's got a hot hand. We saw him with 2 3-point shots here in this quarter. And you could really sense that he will be instrumental in trying to lift this NLEX team back and put them back here in this game.
Actually, coach, he has hit 4 3-pointers already in the fourth quarter, and he has just come up so big in this game thus far. But all that might go down the drain if they don't find a way to climb back from this 5-point hole. Bowling. Long shot. Trollano feeling
Big
it.
check.
He had Taha right in front of him. The ball is loose. That's going to be a jump ball between Onwobere and Alas. Onwobere saying he was trying to request a timeout. So now they're going to go with a jump between Sydney Onwobere and Kevin Alas.
That was close. He could have been called for a ball hugging violation too,
That's right.
because he was trapped in the corner.
And look at NLEX, able to get that basketball. They have a fresh possession. Trollano looking to attack. Was fouled there. And that will mean 2 free throws for Don Trollano. The foul will be on Robert Bowling. Boy, Trollano has truly been remarkable here in the fourth. He is the reason why NLEX even has a chance with under a minute left.
He's the one that's giving them life in the fourth with all his 3-point shots. 18 points already.
Make that 19 after that first free throw. More importantly, NLEX now just down by 4 points. Oh, he misses the second though. Oh, a couple of swings there. And the referees will definitely take a look at that.
All players please proceed to the shaded area in front of your respective benches. Both teams are advised to...
If a technical foul is whistled here on Northport, that will give NLEX a chance to shoot a free throw.
Yes.
And that will also mean it's just going to be a single possession ball game. Actually, it would have been if Trollano made that one. Anthony already called a timeout. Actually, Cruz was hit on the first
elbow.
Yeah. Not on the swing, not on the wild
Right
swing
here.
that we saw.
But he only reacted on the second.
We'll let the referees take care of that one. Points separating these two teams, 50.6 seconds left to go. Hang on to your seats, folks. We got a good one here on PBA Rush. So no fouls whatsoever given, just the timeout that Northport requested. Pier taking his sweet time. Now it's Bolik with 5 seconds remaining. Bolik. Oh, Kevin Ferrer!
Oh, he missed it!
Point blank miss for Ferrer. And Semerad. Semerad's shot.
He
was
didn't see Kevin Alas open on the other side. So maybe their spacing also wasn't like in a better angle for Semerad to pass it to Kevin Alas under the basket.
Well, the thing is, I'm sure NLEX would have wanted a reversal of roles there. Alas having that ball in transition and Semerad being the trailer, because that's not exactly the strength of David Semerad handling that basketball, especially in transition. Nonetheless, they'll take that to stop and they will want to, they will hope that they get the possession after this review. So yes, ball stays with NLEX. 31.7 seconds remaining. Again, they're down by 4. Lots of basketball left here. NLEX right now 4-4. Northport 3-3. They sit there in the middle of the pack in the team standings, and they wanna climb as high as they can. And for NLEX, they only have 2 more games after this to try and do that. That's why they're really trying to fight for a win here against Northport.
Yeah, can you imagine if NLEX wins, they go 5-4. If Northport wins, NLEX becomes 4-5, and then Northport becomes 4-3.
If they win,
So
yes.
this is how close things are for both of these teams. This is a crucial game for both of these teams.
Trollano blocked there by Ferrer. Alas hoists it up. Oftana on the rebound, and he was trying to look for a foul, and that's also, partly the reason why they were not able to get anything in that possession.
Well, they were trying to draw that foul, but nothing was called there.
NLEX kind of looked rattled in that possession.
Yes, they could have gone for a set. Let's take a look at it here. He was blocked by Ferrer.
Trollano,
Yes, that was a block by Malonzo again.
I'm not sure if Trollano thought that Ferrer had gone far on the flyby, but Ferrer was just really beside him the
Just
entire
really
time.
beside,
He
yes.
had every opportunity to block that attempt.
Good, he had some kind of control there, to at least swat away that shot. Because if not, Trollano would have had an open three-point shot.
Lots of credit, though, to the defense of Northport in that play. In the most crucial of possessions, they were able to come up with a big stop. Well, actually, 3 big stops. Those were 3 shots that NLEX wasn't able to convert. And then on the other side, Northport adding to their lead from the free throw line. Back for the conclusion of this battle between Northport and NLEX. It has been an exciting ball game. Thank you for joining us here on PBA Rush for this one. It's the third of your Sunday triple header. So this caps off the weekend. And what a way to do that, Coach Eric.
Well, we've been treated to a triple header today. We started out with a great game between San Miguel And then of course it was followed by the talk and text or the TNT against Barangay Ginebra.
You know, here in this game, 26 of the 96 points of the Northport Batang pair have come from their main man, Robert Bolick, and that actually equals his career high, which came, guess when, coach? In his PBA debut.
Wow.
In his very first game in the PBA, he scored 26. Cruz has it. Alas, such a long shot. Long rebound lands with Oftana. Kevin fires again. Banks it in. 2-point game.
1.1 second left.
Oh, and that fumble eventually works to the side of Northport as time expires. And the Northport Batang Pier played in back-to-back game days and collected back-to-back wins. 96-94 today, the win against the NLEX Road Warriors.
Well, Northport played a great game. They started this game consistently. Everybody thought that they would be tired because they just played yesterday, but not for the Northport Batang Pier. They're still fired up. They have so much confidence in today's game.
Yesterday, Jamie Malonzo was the star. Today, it was Robert Bolick scoring 26 points, 5 assists, 2 steals.
Well, Bolick has been the best player of this game a couple of times already. You know, these are impressive numbers with 26 points. And definitely, he was always the X factor of the game, the reason why Northport is playing well in this conference.
Our next double player of the game is Robert Bolick, brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. It is absolutely incredible what Northport showed over this weekend, coach. The only team that had to play 2 games during this weekend, and they got wins in both outings.
Well, look at the team standings now, Judd. 4 and 5 for NLEX. On the part of Northport, they're 4 and 3. They still have a couple of games left. That's a 3-game winning streak riding for Northport. So hopefully they should take advantage of this. They are playing well as a unit. Hopefully they get Greg Slaughter back.
With 4 more games on their schedule, Northport can still actually really make a rise. There in the team standings, you see the Magnolia Hotshots and the San Miguel Beermen right at number 3 and number 4 with 3 losses. And pretty much, you know, if Northport can get a few more W's, they can compete for those spots there. Now in the team standings for NLEX, they dropped to 4 and 5. It's also quite fortunate for them that they were able to get a string of wins earlier in the elimination round. Let's turn it over now to the press room.
Good evening and welcome to our post-game interview. Joining us are Northport interim head coach Bonnie Tan and our best player of the game, Robert Bolick. Congratulations po. Robert, parang pagod na pagod kasi sunod-sunod yung games. So, paano mo at paano ng team na-sustain yung winning ways niyo?
First of all, thank you kay God. Binigyan kami ng panalo. Binigay lang talaga namin yung best namin. Wala gusto namin manalo para sa mga coaches namin, sa mga pamilya namin, friends, loved ones. Sila nag-i-inspire sa amin dito Nagsakripisyo kami lahat dito So, bigay namin lahat sa kanila, lalo na sa coaches namin na sana okay na sila. So,
Coach Bonnie, 3 games in a row but your players displayed poise in the end game. Ano po yung niremind nyo sa kanila during your last time out?
It's all team effort. May mga assistant coaches naman ako, sila Kevin Ferrer and Sean Anthony. So, they did a good job helping out this team na makatapos natin na maayos.
Coach Bonnie, hindi po naglaro si Greg Slaughter.
Minsan, yung mga blessing na minsan pagka kasi game preparation nila for sure it's 80% siguro with Greg, so baka naka-help yun. Pero we miss his rebounding. Buti na lang medyo may mga end game na talagang again nag-huddle yung mga players sa loob ng court and yung yung rebounding namin, department, na being the number 1 team, pero kanina parang hindi kami number 1 eh. So, yun ang parating yung pinapoint out kanina ng team, yung problema namin. Ang daming second shots ng NLEX.
Coach, hindi naman po injured si Greg.
Hindi, may konting ano lang yung, ano tawag yun? May konting pain sa hips, pero hindi naman okay naman. We decided na to sit him muna para sa mga next games namin.
Okay po, Coach. Now we turn you over to our press friends. First up is Mr. Ray Hoble.
Coach Bonnie, tatanong ko lang, no, kasi sunod-sunod yung games nyo rito, no, 3 sunod. Pero galing kayo sa mahabang pahinga, no? Tingin nyo, nakabuti yung mahabang pahinga na yon para dito sa magandang nilalaro nyo ngayon?
Honestly, kung titignan mo, talagang nakatulong kasi naka 3-0, at least na natapos sila yung 3-0. So, siguro, it's God's destiny na mangyari sa amin to para makakuha rin ng 3 panalong sunod-sunod within 1 week.
Same question na rin kay Robert. Robert, yung mahabang pahinga na nakuha ninyo, tapos sunod-sunod yung laro nyo ngayon, parang hindi naman kayo naapektuhan ng long layoff. So, bakit tingin mo maganda yung nilalaro ng team?
Wala eh. Inspired kami lahat maglaro dito nga dahil nga sa mga coaches namin. So, ang ganda ng lineup namin. Siyempre, ayaw naman din namin magpatalo, di ba? So, bigay namin yung best sa mga Northport fans namin, sa management. Di ba? So, binigay lang talaga namin best namin. Ayaw lang talaga namin magpatalo. Masyado kasi kami nasa baba. 1-3, lahat ng panalo namin, puro game winners. Kaya, pinag-isipan namin na kaya naman namin eh. So, ginawa lang namin best namin. Usap-usap lang kami sa stay namin doon. So, naging okay naman. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Definitely an incredible performance, not just today, not just yesterday, but this week for the Northport Batang Pier. They also played Thursday. So that was 3 games in 4 days. And guess what, Coach? They came out 3-0.
Tapos, para sa akin, Judd, the most important thing here is the team was able to make do with whoever was left in the team. I mean, they had some problems with the health and safety protocols. That's the reason why most of the coaches are not around. But yet, this team was then able to withstand, missing those key components of the team. And not only that, because of the presence of Coach Bonitan, they were still able to get some more wins with whoever they have on the team with 3 straight games in a week. So that's actually a tough task at hand with Northport, and they beat all the odds that were stacked up against them.
For sure. And you'll see here, NLEX was right up competing against Northport in the first half. By the time the first half ended, the score was actually 48-45. This was the last incursion of Northport in that first quarter, because Sean Anthony was also a contributor in this game with 14 points and 3 rebounds. Very, very close. In the third quarter was where there were runs from both teams, Coach. At some point, the lead of Northport would reach a high of 16, but at the same time, NLEX would get within 4 points again.
Yeah, NLEX would always try to mount a comeback. But the thing is, I believe that NLEX really missed JR Kinyahan's presence and leadership here. That's why, during the crucial stages of the game, their choices or options became limited because their number 1 big in JR Kinyahan is not playing.
Yeah, that's right. And other guys had to step up. In the third quarter, they tried their very best to keep in step with Northport, but it was actually in the fourth where they would have a chance once again. As Northport started to do some damage there, they would build a double-digit lead once again, but then Don Trollano would actually bring NLEX eventually back in this game. He scored 14 of his 19 points in the fourth quarter, talking about Don Trollano, but of course lots of other guys stepping up for Northport.
Yes, Northport had so many other players, so I was really happy about Onobere's performance, being the big He provided defense, rebounds, and even the all-court hustle, including his points that he contributed.
Yeah, that was the last save for NLEX. Kevin Alas hitting at the buzzer. He had 13 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, was only 5 for 14 from 3-point range. Those game highlights brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Thank you for joining us here on PBA Rush. That's it for your Sunday triple header.